Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Laughing Through the Pain podcast. I'm your host, Elinor.
I'm Marianne.
And it's been 3 months exactly since we've uploaded.
Sorry about that.
There's not really much of an excuse of why. It's mainly just life happened.
Look, we're adults. We have more to do in life than entertain you people. We have jobs and stuff. We have things going on, okay? No, but in all seriousness, we have really missed this, and we're so excited to be back.
Yay! So, Marianne. Oh, actually, before we get into what we're doing today, I just wanted to make an amazing announcement. I finally saw Sense and Sensibilities.
Yes!
After doing this podcast. When was the first time we actually had an episode out?
That's a great question.
First episode was January of this year. Really? Wow.
We're coming up on 1 year?
Wow, yeah.
Yay! We'll have to do something very special.
Ooh, yes. We almost made it a whole year. Our last episode was in September. But it's okay.
That's goals for next year.
Yay!
Like I said, we're busy people.
Yes, but we definitely want to do better in the new year. That's definitely a, what do they call them? New Year's resolution.
Yes. Resolution. Let's go.
Let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go.
I finally watched Sense and Sensibility after, doing this podcast and having a lot of themes and references to the movie and the book. It was kind of funny to watch and to see, how our trio dynamic of myself, Marianne, and Margaret, and how kind of similar we are to the characters, actually.
Very much so. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Not exactly, but there's, little quirks and things that the characters did where I was like, that definitely reminds me a lot of Marianne. Or, Margaret's character, which was really...
She was just kind of there. Oh, and for those of you who are wondering, we watched the superior 1995 version of Sense and Sensibility with Hugh Grant, Emma Thomas, Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman, and a quarter of the Harry Potter cast.
Literally, I was we got to the part where they go with, what's his name, Sir John or something?
Yeah, Sir John.
And I was like, that man looks and sounds very familiar, and turns out he's Cornelius Fudge in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and his wife plays the fat lady in the second movie.
Yep.
Because I was I didn't recognize her by her face, but I definitely recognized her voice. I was like, I have to figure out who she is.
I know who she is.
And it turns out, Harry Potter.
And Umbridge was in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Her character was hilarious.
Way more likable than Umbridge.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever disliked a character more than Umbridge.
Ugh, what a pill.
Ugh.
Anyway, so we're back.
And what are we doing today, Marianne?
We are talking about Gary Chapman's love languages. There are 5 love languages that faith-based author Gary Chapman has developed.
Oh, I actually didn't know that the 5 love...
It's been a couple...
I just had a stroke. I didn't know.
It's been a couple months.
I didn't know that the 5 love languages was written by Gary Chapman.
It's cool.
Because I read his book, because he wrote Sacred Marriage.
Did he? I know he wrote the one that I gave
you.
Wait.
Maybe not. Oh.
It was written by a Gary.
Never mind. His name is Gary Thomas. Not Gary Chapman.
It's all good. I did give you another book by Gary Chapman, which is really good. Things I wish I knew before we got married.
Yeah, I still haven't read it, but
it's
I will
invaluable.
Eventually.
But Sacred Marriage by Gary Thomas, 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Honestly, changed my whole perspective on love and relationships.
We should do a book review at some point.
It was really good. I took notes upon notes and wrote down little excerpts from the book because I was like, this is really good.
Do you have your own copy?
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah,
you.
Oh yeah. requires more caffeine. I was gonna say, I know that the first time you read it, you borrowed it from someone, so you weren't able to do, like, the highlights or the underlining or anything.
Yeah, I went through and, like, because obviously it wasn't my copy, so I just, like, made a note in my phone.
Excellent.
And just typed out, like, the parts I wanted to keep in mind. But I got my own copy when we went to, I think, did we find it at the Ark?
Oh, yeah, that's right, we did.
And I was like, it was only like a couple dollars, and I was like, I have to buy this.
Mine?
But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna take the quiz for the 5 love languages today. I don't remember the last time I took it. It's been a minute, for sure. And I know you haven't taken it in a long time either.
Yeah, and I feel like the older I get, the more I change as a person, the more I mature as a person, which hopefully is the case for all of us, if not most of us. But every time I take it, the results are radically different. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much they have changed since the last time I took it.
Yeah, I want to say it's probably been about a year or so since I've taken it last. I was surprised the last time that I took it because when I took it, like, years before that, my very tippy top love language was physical touch. And
Really?
So, yeah, and this was when I was probably when I was a teenager / like, earlier in my adulthood. So, like, 19, 20, probably.
Right.
And then I took it probably a year or so ago, and definitely, it was a lot more balanced, I found. There's definitely, like, the 2 lowest were, like, very low.
Quite
But
low.
a few things, like, shifted around, like, physical touch was not my top. It was pretty on par with quality time, but it was not number 1, which I was surprised about. And acts of service went up by a lot.
Interesting. Isn't it crazy how much we can change, even in just a short amount of time? How much our romantic and platonic priorities can change. Okay, so we're using the Love Nudge app. It is it's the official Love Languages app. Gary Chapman developed it himself, so It's legit. It's valid. So here we go. Question 1 of 30. It's more meaningful to me when I receive a loving note, text, or email for no special reason from my loved one, or my partner and I hug. I know. Right off the bat, I'm like, oh, crap. Yes, both. 2.
Well, both I think are very meaningful, which I'm thinking back to when I was younger, and I know which one I would have picked right off the bat. I probably would have picked when my partner and I hug. But, like, hugs are very nice and, like, sentimental.
They are.
And lovely. But it's, like, but they happen more frequently.
Right.
It's kind of a given. So I would say receiving a note or text or email. That's what I would pick for this.
I would probably pick the same one. Obviously, I'm a super touchy-feely person. And picking one is not to say that you reject the other one, obviously. It's not to say that we have, like, anti-love languages necessarily. Both of these would obviously mean a lot to me. However, if I get a message from, we have a new development that we haven't talked about on the podcast yet. I have a boyfriend. Yay, it's Brandon the second, I guess. Because she ends up with Brandon, so it's not like I can change his... We should have started.
Brandon OG should have been Willoughby.
Yeah. Okay, so officially in canon, Brandon OG, who I dated almost exactly a year ago. Because it was like right after Christmas when we got together.
You guys were together during Margaret's birthday.
We were. That was the first time we held hands. Nah. Anyway, so Brandon OG is now Willoughby.
But he's not a douche chicken. like in the film.
A douche chicken.
I don't know.
Yes, no, he's not a douche chicken. We are still really good friends and we're on really good terms. But thanks to the magical world of online dating, I met new Brandon. So referring to Brandon from now on will be the new man, the new beau, the new suitor, if you will. And old Brandon will just refer to as Willoughby. Willoughby, Wallaby.
What's his first name?
I think...
Or is his first... Or like, I don't know.
I think it's John, actually. That's funny to us for reasons. But yeah.
Oh, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, because there's two Johns in the movie. There's
Sir
John and...
John Willoughby?
John Willoughby,
Yeah.
I think. Or I could be wrong, and his name could be like Alfred or something. I don't know. But anyway, all that to say, sorry for that detour, but that is a very important development that I did not share at the beginning of the episode, so that's on me. Yes, there is a new beau in my life, and he is wonderful, and we are happy. So,
dang, I would have thought that you would be miserable. Oh, yeah. Actually, I just looked it up, and his name is John Willoughby.
John Willoughby. Oh, that's so ironic. Yes. For reasons. But yeah, so because Brandon and I are in a long distance relationship, I have not hugged him in person yet. Stay tuned for that. However, it's going to be an interesting dynamic weighing this with the man that I'm with now, since we haven't been physical yet. Like, in any dynamic. So...
that is true.
That's very interesting. So I'm going to try to think of, like, future, kind of like applying this to the future if we're married, you know, married and living together. But as of now, yes, it is very meaningful because he does have a way with words. He's also a writer. He is a poet. He's a songwriter. So he knows how to just put words together and make me absolutely melt. So all that to say, it's been
He's
like...
a massive nerd.
He is a massive nerd, and I love he. But considering it's been 12 minutes since I started reading this, it is more meaningful to me when I receive a loving note from him because he knows how to make me feel special just with words.
Aww,
so
cute.
A boop.
It is more meaningful to me when I can spend alone time with my partner, just the two of us, or my partner does something practical to help me out. I am gonna go with alone time.
No, that sounds like you. You do value the quality time, the alone time that you get with the people who are important to you, the friends in your life. And
yeah, like both of them, I would say, like on the one hand, yeah, like having someone help me out with something is like pretty meaningful, but also like just getting alone time,
right,
with someone is like just really special.
It's special. He's special. I'm gonna go with my partner does something practical to help me out. Just, you know, again, thinking in terms of the future. If someone does something for me that I wasn't really looking forward to or something that I need to do, like this is just a non-romantic example. If there's some housework that I need to get done and a member of my family decides to bless me and do it, like taking care of the trash when it was my, you know, it was my thing to do that day, or put the dishes away, or restarting the dryer for me, then that makes me feel thought about. And that's the whole point, right? It's like, oh, you made me feel really thought about. You were considerate and thoughtful towards me. So I'm going to go with that one. Just something practical. A boop. It is more meaningful to me when my partner gives me a little gift as a token of our love for each other. I don't know why the wording of that is just funny. Or I get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with my partner. Oh, I'm just going to shoot this assumption out of the water right now because a lot of people like to think this way. But gift giving and gifts as a love language does not mean you're materialistic. Okay? So if that ends up being your gift, if you ever take this test and it's gifts, that does not mean that you're materialistic. It does not mean that things make you happy. we'll get more on that when we go into depth about the meaning of the love languages. So I just wanted to clear that up. Does not mean you're materialistic or shallow or anything.
This is hard.
It's very hard.
Oh gosh. We're only 3 questions in and I'm like, wait, I don't know.
You're riding the struggle bus.
Mm-hmm. I'm really inclined to say the gift thing, but also like uninterrupted leisure time is just really sweet to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. This is way harder than I think I've ever.
Especially towards the end, when it starts really narrowing down what your love languages are, it will give you your top 2 and make you choose between them.
Oh gosh.
It's a pain.
I think I'm gonna go with the gift.
I'm gonna go with uninterrupted leisure time.
It is more meaningful to me when my partner unexpectedly does something for me, like filling up my car or doing the laundry, or my partner and I touch.
I'm going to go with my partner and I touch. Brandon and I have had a lot of conversations about how highly we value physical touch. Mm-hmm. He's been promising me a lot of back rubs, and I'm like, yes, please. Because I didn't even have to tell him that I love it when my back is touched. Like, you know that about me.
Right.
That's like my favorite spot. And when he was like, yeah, I love giving back rubs, I was like, say what now? Hello.
That is... Physical touch for me is an interesting thing because I am very touchy, but I hate my back being touched.
Mm-hmm.
And like...
You don't like your feet being touched either.
Yeah, but that's not like...
Do you have like an aversion to your back being touched? Yeah. Like you just do not
yes,
like it?
Yeah. When, for like the 2 days that me and that one guy were kind of like talking.
Oh yeah.
he had his arm around me and I think he was trying to like rub my back or like touch like my upper back and like shoulders. I was like, please don't do that.
Please stop.
I was like, it's fine if it's like a hand resting.
Yeah.
But if it's moving, I cannot.
Like,
I'm like, I literally like, even like just being brushed a little bit. Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know. And like, it's always been like that.
Very interesting.
Like, even sometimes when I'm at the chiropractor, I have to like take really deep breaths and try to like not flinch because like, you know, he's like trying to figure out like where my spine needs to be like cracked essentially. And so like he'll like press on different parts and then like when he does like the firm like push on my spine, then it like that's fine, but it's like the little just the small movements and that is just like so uncomfortable. And I don't know why. I've always been like this.
That is very interesting. I'm very curious about that.
I know, because like probably every other girl that I know loves it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like
You're like, no.
I'm like, please don't.
I reject you.
Gosh, these are so hard. I think I will also go with my partner and I touch. Because if it comes to something like filling up my car or doing the laundry, I prefer to do that myself.
Mm-hmm. Which is valid.
Although I do struggle with doing the laundry sometimes. So I don't know. That time when one of my friends, she actually came over like multiple days and did my laundry for me.
Aww. True friendship.
That was really sweet, and I appreciated that.
And she's the type of person who would do that.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, wait. No, I'll go with unexpectedly does something, because I just remembered that and, like, how much I appreciated that.
Aww.
Because, like, laundry for me is a really big stress point. And it's just one of those things that, like, I always did laundry in, like, really large chunks as a kid. Like, I had to do my own laundry starting when I was, like, 11 or 12. And so we had our laundry days, do laundry, and then take care of it. And, like, once I was, like, once I, like, had a lot more depression, it was really difficult to actually deal with it. Just look to your left and see the disaster. I have not done laundry, like, big, like, I can get myself to do, like, essentials.
Right.
You know, like, if I'm like, oh, I need, like, socks and underwear, I can do socks and underwear. But, like, it's just so much, and it's so overwhelming. Anyway, next one.
It is more meaningful to me when my partner puts his arm around me when we're in public, or my partner surprises me with a gift. I am going to say my partner puts his arm around me when we're in public because my ex, I can't remember what we called him. DB.
For dirtbag.
Oh, yeah, dirtbag or douche chicken. I love
DC.
DC.
We could call him douche chicken. That's
Douche
fine.
chicken? I like it. He's being downgraded to douche chicken. He would never do that in public. Never. It was almost like he was ashamed of me.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought process when reading these, too.
Yeah.
It was like that outward, like, this is my person.
Yeah, and I love
this
that.
person.
I love that. So that's going to be mine.
I think same.
Because Brandon would 100% do that. He'd be the type not to be like, this is my property, hippity hoppity, you know?
Hippity hoppity, women are property.
Please don't demonetize us. Oh, wait, you can't, because we don't make any money off of this.
We could.
We could.
We have enough listens.
Tune in, subscribe, like us. Please, give us money. Buy us presents.
So you also picked when the partner puts his arm around you in public.
I did, because Brandon would be the type to do that, and that would make me feel really, really special.
It is more meaningful to me when I'm around my partner, even if we're not really doing anything, or I hold hands with my partner. Probably if I'm around my partner, even if we're not really doing anything.
Yeah.
That would be my
I would agree.
vote.
So far, Brandon and I have had nothing but phone dates. But sometimes we'll just be on the phone together while we're just going about our evening things. And we'll just have conversations. So there will be stretches where we're not even saying anything to each other. But it means a lot to me. Because I'll just be putting my laundry away. And he'll be cleaning his room or something. And we're just like, it's like he's there with me. So even if we're not really doing anything. And I feel like the future would be like that too, especially if we're married. So I'm going to pick that one. I'm around my partner, even if we're not really doing anything.
Yeah, I just thought of, like, when me and Margaret hang out, like, she'll play, like, Resident Evil, and I'll just be, like, on my phone.
Yeah, and that's still quality time.
Yeah, it's quality time, and, like, we're just
hanging out.
We're not even, like, really talking about anything, and it's just, like...
That's a great example. You don't feel like you have to fill the silence up with meaningless
like,
conversation.
Just doing, like, obviously, like, we both enjoy, like, Resident Evil, and, like, I like the storyline. I'm not super into, like, playing it, and so I just enjoy watching her play.
Yeah. And enjoy looking at the hot characters on the screen.
Wesker.
I was wondering why you were caressing your hard drive. I was like, what? Oh, hello, Wesker.
Yes, I have a sticker of Albert Wesker on my computer tower that Margaret gave me.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, I think, like, that's just, that also I feel like it's a good sign for me personally that this is someone that I want to be with and, like, feel like I should be with. Because,
absolutely,
like, I don't know, if you're, like, feeling uncomfortable and you always have to fill the silence, like, that's kind of, like,
yeah, like, it's painful.
Yeah, painful's a good way to describe it.
Just like, okay, awkward. It's more meaningful to me when my partner gives me a gift or I hear I love you from my partner. I hear I love you, hands down.
I would say the same.
That's mine and yours.
It is more meaningful to me when I sit close to my partner or I am complimented by my loved one for no apparent reason. I would go with I sit close to my partner.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you. You do tend to, gravitate towards the ones that you're closest to in a group setting. Mm-hmm. Or even last night when we were watching Sense and Sensibility, all three of us ended up in this mega cuddle. And once I realized it, I felt so warm. I was just like, oh, we're all just cuddling. It's so sweet. This one's tricky.
I was going to say, this one's probably harder for you than it is
hard
for me.
I would probably pick I'm complimented. It's the for no apparent reason. That's what gets me. Because if Brandon were to just message me, and he does this, and just be like, you're so special.
Oh, that's
or
really
something
cute.
Like that. Just unprovoked, unprompted. I'd just be like, real life keyboard mash. Just, me? Who, me? So,
me?
that's more meaningful to me. The for no apparent reason is the one that puts it over the edge. Boop. Blah. Okay. It's more meaningful to me when I get the chance to just hang out, in quotes, with my partner, or I unexpectedly get small gifts from my partner.
I would go with just hang out.
I would too. Oh,
I just read one of the prompts. I'm like, it's more meaningful to me when I hear my partner tell me I'm proud of you. Or my partner helps me with a task.
It doesn't matter what the second one would have been. The words, I'm proud of you, make me feel so whole. Yes, I'm proud of you.
This is tough.
They do that to you. They'll take the two that mean the most to you and be like, ha-ha, pick and choose.
That's so hard. Oh, gee. I think I would go with my partner helps me with a task. Because, I don't know.
Because I don't know.
I just, like thinking about it, I'm like, what would I rather have happen?
Yeah.
So,
Next question.
It is more meaningful to me when I get to do things with my partner or I hear supportive words from my partner. Like, what does supportive words mean, though?
I know. Is it like, you're number one? Or is it like, you did a really good job today and I'm so proud of you? Well, that just won that one over for me.
If that's what it is, like, if someone were to say, I realized that, like, there's a difference between someone telling me I did a good job versus saying that I'm proud of you. I would rather hear that I did a good job.
Yeah. And that's completely, what's the word? We teach it at the preschool. Because the things that you hear said to you, you're going to mirror back. So if I tell you, this is just an example from what I've learned at the preschool. If I tell you, you did it, you sat still on the carpet during circle time, the mirrored quote unquote response is going to be on yourself. I did this. Now, if I were to say, I like your art, the opposite, the mirror is going to be, you like my art. Therefore, if I do art like this, it's going to make you happy. Or I'm going to do this in order to please you or to make you proud of me or to get you to notice my accomplishments. So we use a lot of you language at the preschool versus I language.
Interesting.
Because it puts the focus on their accomplishments and their capabilities versus a judgment of what we as adults think of them. So that makes sense.
Huh.
Like, you did it versus, oh, I like the way you did that. Because then it's like, oh, am I doing it because you like it and I'm trying to win your approval?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I doing it because it's something I'm good at? It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. The first time, not the first time, but one of the most significant memories in my head of someone telling me, like, you did a good job was when I was learning how to mountain bike. Mm-hmm. And it was like the first time that we went out as a group. It was me, Connor, Josh, and Sarah. We'll call her Sarah. Okay. Because I don't know what name we would have used for her in the past. Mm-hmm. So we all went out as a group, and, like, this was, like, my first time mountain biking. I hadn't been biking in a really long time, and, like, both Connor and Josh, were like, wow, that, like, the way you approached this line was really good. And, like, just, like, stuff like that, and, like, hearing that from them was, like, I literally was, like, I felt so cared about.
Aww.
And I had, like, never, like, had that kind of feeling before.
That makes sense. Because it was perception versus judgment. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, you made me proud by doing that. It was, this is something you accomplished. Mm-hmm. And the focus was on your capabilities. So.
Yeah. So if supportive words mean, like, stuff like that, I think I will go with that. Because
that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. Cool. Next one.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things. Or I feel connected to my partner through a hug. As much as I love hugs, again, the way this is worded has won me over.
Yeah.
Because you should say what you mean and mean what you say. In my relationship with Douche Chicken, there was a lot of talk and zero follow-through.
Follow-through is so
Follow-through is important. If you say you are going to do something, you should do the thing that you said you were going to do.
Where did that accent come
I
from?
have no idea. I don't know. I'm caffeine.
Yeah, I think just based on the way that it's phrased, it's saying they actually do something rather than just talking about it. Like, let's say, like, I said, I don't know, I'm gonna take your car to get washed. Mm-hmm. And then I just don't. And then you ask, oh, so when are you gonna do this thing? And I'll be like, oh, I'll do it, like, eventually.
Someday. Maybe.
Like, there's no follow through with that. It's just words. Yep. And then after some time, you're just like, you stop asking.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, obviously this isn't gonna happen.
This person cannot be relied upon.
Yeah.
Or depended upon.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that kind of person to anybody in my life.
Same.
Therefore, I wouldn't want my partner to be that kind of person. Mm-hmm. So, based on that, because you're absolutely right, I'm going to pick the first one. My partner does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things.
Yes.
A boop. It's more meaningful to me when I hear praise from my partner or my partner gives me something that shows he or she was really thinking about me.
I would go with the second one.
I would go with the first one.
That sounds about right.
Praise!
It is more meaningful to me when I'm able to just be around my partner, or I get a back rub or massage from my partner.
Heck yes! Back rub. Yay!
I'm just gonna go with the first one. We already talked about this earlier.
My love language is back rubs. Not even physical touch. Just someone touching my back. I'm just like, yes. Yes. It's more meaningful to me when my partner reacts positively to something I've accomplished, or my partner does something for me that I know they don't particularly enjoy.
Second one. 1,000%.
Oh, that's hard.
I think it's really funny that there's certain questions that you're like, I know right off the bat. And I'm just like, this is impossible. And then, like, this one is very clear to me.
Yeah.
Like, I would most certainly choose my partner does something for me that I know they don't particularly enjoy.
Because they want to speak that love language to you.
Right, yeah.
Aww,
like,
yeah.
It to me, that communicates compromise, that they're willing to compromise.
Yes.
And that they care enough about me and my interests to do it anyway.
That is a sacrificial, selfless love.
Right.
Yeah, and because of that, that's what I'm picking. Boop.
I would have thought you would have picked the first one.
I did too, and then we started talking about it and putting it in a perspective of, you know, like putting it in a real life situation, either something I've experienced in the past or something that I could very well experience in the future. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just, like, I always think about when I was talking with my old mentor, and we were just meeting like we normally did, and she was telling me about how her husband, so, like, she's very much, like, not a nerdy person.
No, she's not.
But her husband is. And he had gotten some kind of, it was like a board game or something, and, like, she wasn't particularly excited about playing it, but because he likes that kind of thing and wanted to, like, spend that time with her, she was like, I don't really want to play, but I'm going to because I love him.
Aww.
And, like, that just, like, sticks out in my mind. That's constantly. So like, every time I think about something like that, I think of what she said, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
even
that's something
if it's
really
not something
sweet.
You're particularly interested in, but your partner is, like, that's amazing. Yeah. That's really, really sweet.
It is more meaningful to me when my partner and I kiss frequently, or I sense my partner is showing interest in the things I care about.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. I think the second one seems kind of like the one we just read through. I will go with the second one, mostly because I've never kissed someone before, so I don't have that, like, feeling or context for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's valid. And it's funny because I'm going to pick the second one for the same reason, just opposite. I've been kissed a lot, and the kisses have all, up until this point, been absolutely meaningless. So being frequently kissed doesn't mean anything if it's just so he can get his rocks off, so to speak, you know? So yeah, kissing means a lot to me, but I have yet to experience a meaningful kiss. So I'm going to pick the second one as well, because showing interest in the things I care about. I know that Brandon doesn't really watch The Office. Cringe humor isn't his favorite, but the other day he quoted it.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh my gosh. So that was him showing I am willing to watch this show, even though it kind of makes me cringe, because you're interested in it. And that meant a lot to me. So
nice.
That's why I'm going to pick the second one. It is more meaningful to me when my partner works on special projects with me that I have to complete, or my partner gives me an exciting gift. What is an exciting gift? Like a car? Because, like, define exciting.
I think it just depends on, like, the person.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true. A lot of these are, well, it depends.
Yeah. Like, I think it really just depends on, like, what you define as an exciting gift. Like, the mug you got me.
Yes.
Was such an exciting gift. I was telling my mom about it, and her question to me was, do you really like this guy? And I was like, absolutely not.
No, he's a creep.
He's a creep and gross, and I don't like him at all, but it's so ironically hilarious.
It's so funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but it is.
Yeah. So, like, something like that, like, to me is, like,
right,
fantastic.
exciting gift.
And I don't think exciting gifts necessarily have to be like a car.
Flashy. And on the other side of that, define special project. Is it like housework? Like doing laundry or going grocery shopping together? Because Brandon has talked about going on like grocery dates.
I want to go. I want to go on a grocery date so badly. Like I love grocery shopping. Like if I'm not on a time limit, which is usually like I will go to the grocery store when I have like as much time as I need to, because I don't like rushing through the grocery store unless I'm like stopping in for one thing and leaving.
Right.
But I love grocery shopping. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I so look forward to the day when I can go with a boyfriend or a husband. Like, it just seems like such a fun thing to do, and I'm like, just goofing around in like Walmart or something. Yeah. It just like, to me, that's so appealing.
And you get to know the person that you're with based on their food interests and what they like and don't like.
And also how they shop.
There's some people I shop with where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. No, but it's something that I've never thought about before. Because when he first floated the idea of a grocery date, I was like, oh, what? But then he explained it to me. And it's very similar to how you described it. It's like, yeah, you go in, you get to learn about the person, and just goofing around Walmart is...
Yeah.
It's like...
And it's just like...
a small delight.
Spending time together.
It's spending time. It's quality time. This is hard. This is harder than I thought it was going to be.
But I don't know what special project would be defined as.
I know. What is special project?
I don't I don't know. I'm like trying to think of how to phrase this. Like I like receiving help when I need it. But there are certain things where I very much like to work by myself.
Yep.
If it was like a house project or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where my brain goes to, because you don't do that all the time.
Yeah.
Of like,
it says special project.
Like
so probably
decorating, like let's
repainting the kitchen.
Repainting. That's something that like I would probably more so define this as, but I don't know.
And that's what I'm going to pick, because it does say special. It doesn't say mundane. So grocery store is kind of out.
Yes.
So, in all likelihood, if Brandon and I do get married and we get a house, it's probably going to be a fixer-upper, just because we can't afford a nice big house right now. But we've talked about buying a fixer-upper and then fixing it up together and turning it into a home. And the thought just makes me really happy of like pouring effort into kind of an older, kind of a shabby house and turning it into a home. So I like the way you described that. That made up my mind for me. My partner works on special projects with me that I have to complete. Boom.
I still don't know. Even after all that talk, I'm like, well,
eeny, meeny, miny, that one. I don't know, you did get really excited about that mug that I got you.
That was really great.
I loved your reaction. That's what I was looking forward to, though, was that.
I guess I'll go with special projects.
Okay.
It is more meaningful to me when I'm complimented by my partner on my appearance, or my partner takes the time to listen to me and really understand my feelings.
Second one.
Yeah.
X never did. X would never.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, like, I look forward to a partner complimenting me on my appearance, because that is something that is, like, pretty important to me.
Yeah.
But I also... it is more meaningful to be listened to and understood.
I know how much that means to you.
Yeah. So I think I'll go with that.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner and I share non-sexual touch. Wow. Non-sexual touch in public, or my partner offers to run errands for me. Oh, that one's hard. I would probably say my partner and I share non-sexual touch in public for the same reason as earlier. It's like, it's nice to be acknowledged in our relationship on display in an appropriate setting, of course. Like, don't be pinching my butt in the middle of Walmart or something. Hashtag married people are freaks. But, yeah, so I'm going to go with that one.
I think same. It is more meaningful to me when my partner does a bit more than his or her normal share of the responsibilities we share around the house, work-related, etc. Or I get a gift that I know my partner put thought into choosing. I would probably go with the first one.
Yeah.
I hate housework, like, a lot.
That's valid. I'm going to go with the second one for 2 reasons. One,
you're materialistic.
Because what?
Because you're materialistic.
Because I'm materialistic as all get out. For one...
Not actually.
Disclaimer, JK. For one, we've already talked about, like, what our roles will be if we get married. And my primary role will be homemaker. That is something that I really want to do. So if he were to work all day, because he would be the breadwinner, he wants to be the moneymaker.
Sure.
You know, he wants to be the provider, the one who makes the money and supports the family in that way, and I want to be the homemaker. So I feel like it wouldn't be as special if he worked really, really hard and then came home and did my job for me. It would almost make me feel like, this is kind of my thing. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. So I don't think it would make me, like, resent him or anything. I would be appreciative, but I would almost feel bad. Almost like, why are you doing this? You know, it's like, this is my job. We talked about this, you know?
But wouldn't that be, like, wouldn't that make it, like, let's say you had the responsibility of always doing the dishes. That was just, like, your designated thing.
Yeah.
What if, like on a weekend, or, like, let's say the dishes hadn't gotten done and he came home and did it for you, even if you had, like, an exhausting day with, like, kids? How would you feel about that? Oh,
yeah. If you factor in the kids, then yeah, that would mean a lot to me.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, without kids, like, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Because
that's a
like,
good point.
Just doing stuff around the house while your husband's away. Right. And you don't have children, like, that is kind of a...
Yeah, that's when I would feel bad. That's when I'd be like, why do you think that you need to work hard all day and then come home and then do extra? Like, I would feel bad. I would be like, not as this is my job, but almost like don't feel like you have to, almost. But if we had kids and I was exhausted and he came home and did one thing to help me, yeah, that would make me feel appreciated.
Yeah. I think either, like, for me personally, like, either way, because I've, like, thought about, like, if I meet someone and we're married, like, I would want to still work in some capacity. Because, for one, if I was still in the job that I'm in now, I really like my job.
Yeah. And
it's part-time. And it offers me a lot of flexibility and freedom. Which is great. And I, you know, love the company, love my boss. But, like, even, like, with that factored in, and we didn't have kids or whatever, I think it would still be really meaningful to me personally to have him just do something that wasn't his responsibility, even if he had been working all day, because that would just be like, oh, you wanted to serve me in that way, and you didn't, like, you didn't have to. You just did it because you wanted to. Like, for me personally, I don't think I would feel bad. I think I would feel more appreciative. You know? Yeah, because it's a sweet thing to do.
But then you look at the other one. I get a gift that I know my partner put thought into choosing. And it's like, oh, it's that wording again. Put thought into choosing.
Yeah, I think I would go with the first one, personally.
It shouldn't be this bloody difficult. I'm going to go with the second one. Because it's all about the thoughtfulness. It's more meaningful to me when my partner doesn't check his phone while we're talking. I don't even care what the second one is. Yes, everybody should do that. My partner goes out of their way to do something that relieves pressure on me. I like that. That is super valid. That makes me feel very much appreciated. But, oh my gosh, is it irritating to be on a date with someone or to be spending time with someone and they're just on their phone the entire time. Like, I had someone tell me the other day, I was having a conversation about a difficult breakup I was experiencing. And the person I was with was on their phone the entire time. And I was like, I hate that for you. I absolutely hate that for you. So I'm going to go with my partner doesn't check his phone while we're talking. Plus, X did that nonstop. So.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the same thing. Because, you know, having just that time of, like, I don't mind if, like, there's an occasional, like, oh, I got a text, who's it from?
Right.
You know.
It's one thing to be like, oh, notification.
Right.
Let me check this.
Right.
As opposed
but if it's
to
just like tippy-tapping on their phone the whole time you're together, like, that's kind of...
Yeah, it's rude.
It is rude. It's more meaningful to me when I can look forward to a holiday because of a gift I anticipate receiving, or I hear the words, I appreciate you from my partner.
I appreciate you!
Yeah, I think I'll go with the same thing.
Yup. It's more meaningful to me when my partner brings me a little gift after he has been traveling without me, or my partner takes care of something I'm responsible to do, but I feel too stressed to do at the time. Based on the scenario you gave me earlier, that's the one that I'm going with.
Me too.
Plus, I don't think that he would travel without me. If he absolutely had to and he brought me a gift, that would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice. I would be appreciative. But yeah, after the conversation we had earlier, factoring in kids and exhaustion and stress, even if he's like, honey, go take a nap, I'll make dinner, I'd be like, I love you.
That'd be super sweet. I think I'll go with the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner doesn't interrupt me while I'm talking, or gift giving is an important part of our relationship. The first one, 100%.
The first one, 100%.
That's like a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And it's tough because I don't like being interrupted, but since we're limited to just phone dates right now and video chats, it's easy to accidentally talk over the other person. So I know he doesn't do it on purpose. Right. But I can feel myself getting triggered, and I have to remind myself he's not doing it on purpose. It's just the reality of talking on the phone, because if you're having a conversation in person, it's a lot easier to read the body cues and the visual cues of, okay, they are talking, I'm going to make sure not to interrupt. So
yeah, this is something that, like, I actually really struggle with doing personally. Like, it's not something I do on purpose. It's not like I'm trying to be rude or just totally interrupt someone. But there are times when, like, it depends on what we're talking about. But, like, I get so excited to share what's in my head. And I want to get it out so I don't forget it.
Yeah.
And it's not even, like, a conscious, like, this is the process of it. It just happens. And I also think the fact, like, I don't know. I feel like I always get interrupted a lot when I talk. So I think it's, like, a subconscious thing of, like, I need to get my words out there before I get talked over.
Yeah, that's very valid. Because, during the podcast, we talk over each other.
We do.
It's not even, like, a rude thing. Like, I never have once sat here and been like, how dare you? We just have ideas. And that's just what it's about. Yeah, so it depends. Right. Now, if you interrupt with something that's completely unrelated, that's what I'm going to be like, excuse me? It's more meaningful to me when my partner helps me out when he knows I'm already tired. Ooh, that one keeps coming up. Or I get to go somewhere while spending time with my partner. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I'm like...
Given the scenario you've already put in my head about him coming home and I'm exhausted, I've been with the kids all day, but also getting to go somewhere while spending time with my partner is going to be my and Brandon's entire week when he gets here. And I'm so excited to take him all the places and do all the things. And even if we're not doing all the things, he just wants to hang out with my family. Like, that's his primary thing, is to hang out with my family and get to know my friends. And that's important. So I'm like,
cool.
It's more about the now versus the future. So I'm like,
Yeah, there's like certain questions where I think it's fine to look kind of more in the future.
Yeah.
But I think for
right now, I'm going to pick, I get to go somewhere while spending time with my partner, because that's what I've been looking forward to for months. So.
Yeah, I think I'll pick the same thing.
Boop. Okay.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner and I are physically intimate, or my partner gives me a little gift that he or she picked up in the course of their normal day.
Physically intimate. I don't need to elaborate. I don't think.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the same thing.
Yeah. It's more meaningful to me when my partner says something encouraging to me, or I get to spend time in a shared activity or hobby with my partner.
Second one.
First one. I love it. We both have our absolutely's. Sometimes they're not the same, but that's okay, because we're different people, and that's okay. It's more meaningful to me when my partner surprises me with a small token of their appreciation, or my partner and I touch a lot during the normal course of the day. I would say touch a lot, just because little physical gestures like holding hands while we're driving somewhere, or a hug from behind. You know, it's just all the little physical things, you know, and not necessarily sexual and intimate, but just the little things.
Yeah, that's
how I interpreted it.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, I think I will go with that as well.
Sweet.
It's more meaningful to me when my partner helps me out, especially if I know they're already busy, or I hear my partner specifically tell me, I appreciate you.
Oh, shoot.
That's hard.
It's very hard.
I am more inclined to go with the first one, I think. But I don't know.
I already answered one for I appreciate you. Didn't we?
Well, I mean,
I'm going to say my partner helps me out because I'm thinking about the future again. Like, helps me out even if I know they're already busy. If Brandon were to come home from a long day of work and he's got stuff going on, but he takes time out of his busy schedule in order to help me out.
I think same.
Putting it practically really helps, doesn't it? It's more meaningful to me when my partner and I embrace after we've been apart for a while, or I hear my partner say how much I mean to him. Oh, shoot.
That first one really gets me.
That's going to be us at the airport when he gets so here. Cute. He's like, I hope you realize I'm hugging you at the airport and I'm not letting go and it's going to get weird and people are going to have to go around us. And I was like, that's fine. I know!
That's so cute. Oh my gosh. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think same. Like, I'm just thinking about it. Like, I don't even have a boyfriend, and just like thinking about like hugging him after not seeing him for a long time, it makes me want to cry.
Here it is. I got the you tied, so now you have to choose between the two.
Oh, really?
Yep. Reorder the following answers in order of preference. I hear supportive words from my partner, or I'm able to just be around my partner. It's making me choose.
Mine, I didn't have to choose mine.
Oh, I'm
actually really surprised. This has changed since the last time I took this.
All right, let me pick. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, supportive words. Here we go. Well, gifts certainly hasn't changed. I don't want to rate you right now. Okay, what are yours?
So, my top one, which this is still the same from last time, quality time is my number one.
No surprise. Words of affirmation is my number one at 29%.
Mine was 33%.
Dang. That's impressive. Out of 5?
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Number 2 for me, so this is very different from how it was the last time I took this test.
Mm-hmm.
So my second, by actually a lot more than I thought it would be, acts of service is 27%.
Holy cow.
Last time I took this, it was in the number 3 spot, but like the difference in the percentage was like more significant. It was only like at maybe 15%.
Nice. Okay. Wow, that is a significant difference.
Yeah, I know, right?
My second is quality time at 26%.
Okay, so yours is really close.
It went up higher than physical touch. That is
Same
surprising.
here. Same here. My physical touch is at 20% in the number 3 spot. 20%.
Wow.
That went down a lot.
Dang. Physical touch, 23%. Third place.
My third place was physical touch at 20%.
Acts of service, fourth place, 19%.
Words of affirmation, 13%. Is my number 4. Number 5 for you?
Receiving gifts, 3%.
Receiving gifts, 7%.
Dang. Yeah, that one doesn't surprise me.
Same. Well, I think receiving gifts for me has always been the lowest.
Yeah, me too.
So always, I think my lowest too for every time I've ever taken this quiz has always been receiving gifts and words of affirmation have always been bottom 2.
Dang.
And like, I think the first time I ever took this quiz, acts of service, like words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and acts of service were like pretty much tied for last place.
Oh my gosh. It gives you the option to invite your partner. You can create goals and stuff, but I don't really use this app for other reasons than to take the quiz. Because I have the book, so.
I don't have a partner.
You just put in, like, null. Null. Skip. Here's your goal. Tell Null I love you.
Wait. Goals are activities you can do. Here's an example. Say I love you. Skip. Oh, so you can make Null feel loved.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so that was interesting.
Tune in next week where we will go into more details about the 5 love languages. We'll answer some questions about the love languages, go over them in more detail, and we can cite the differences between the languages that you speak and the languages that you receive, the languages that you hear, quote unquote, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, so how surprised are you with your results?
I am not surprised in the slightest. The biggest surprise that I have is that physical touch and quality time have swapped places. Because quality time makes sense because I'm extroverted, but physical touch has always been so high.
Right.
So it does surprise me, and it kind of surprises me that acts of service is lower, but I guess that there has to be a 4th place and there has to be a 5th place.
Yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
actually really surprised that all 4 of them, like your top 4, are all pretty even.
Yep.
Like,
they really are.
Like, that's really interesting to me.
I'm just a loving person. What can I say?
But I can't say I'm surprised that your physical touch has gone down because you're in a long distance relationship.
True. Good point. So the physical part of the relationship hasn't happened yet.
Right. So you don't have that, like, you have to do more in terms of words of affirmation and quality time to kind of
compensate.
Compensate. I was like, compensate? But yeah, I think that's the best word for it.
That's a very good point. We are not void. What's the word? Deprived, I guess. for lack of a better word, we're deprived
Right.
of one of the 4 love languages right now. So we
Right.
make up for it
Right.
with extra words of affirmation, extra quality time, etc. So
Yeah. I'm really surprised.
I cannot believe how much that shifted based on what you told me.
Yeah, like to have physical touch be 3rd and by a whole 7%.
That's huge.
That's that's pretty significant because
Yep.
for up until now, every time I took this test, I have always had physical touch be my number 1 significantly. Might I add. Like, oh, I wonder if I can find, I think I still have, oh my gosh. So, I have the email from 2018
Nice.
of when I took this test. I don't know, so I was 19. The results were, so like, it was kind of different then. It wasn't in percentages, it was in points. So it was like 20 points in total.
Mm-hmm.
Physical touch was 10. Quality time was 10. Receiving gifts was 5. Words of affirmation was 5. Acts of service was 0.
I didn't know you could get 0 on the profile score. Dang.
But like, physical touch, quality time have always been in the top 2.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the significant difference.
I can't believe that.
And like, I'm very shocked that acts of service, so like, let's see, this was 2018, 22. In 4 years, physical touch has dropped to number 3, quality time is number 1, and acts of service is number 2.
Fascinating. How much we change.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That is very interesting. I took a bunch of pictures of him earlier with different filters.
Oh, God.
Gross.
So, here's to say apparently mine has changed a lot, which is really interesting to me.
You've grown up. My baby girl. I weep. But yeah, next week, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we can go deeper into the 5 love languages as a whole.
Yes, we can.
Talk more about that.
Absolutely. The languages we speak and the languages we hear.
Yes. I wonder if there's like I assume the test that we took is like how we receive.
Yes.
I wonder if there's one of like how you give.
That's a great question. Because, that one is based on what we receive. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the one that's spoken to me and means the most. Because I think mine is different.
Yeah,
But my spoken languages are different.
I'm not sure on mine.
We'll look into it.
We will look into it.
We will research it.
Tune in next time. Thanks for listening. We will catch you on the flippity flop.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
All right. Goodbye. Mwah.
Mwah.